All right, welcome everybody. It is Program Design Review, week 18. We have 40 seconds on, 15 seconds off. We're going to go around the room 3 times. This transition time actually gives people a bit more than normal. That's a good thing. But what I would encourage them is if you've been normally late to the station, let's not take an extra 5 seconds and still be late, right? So probably a quicker type of warm-up is what's recommended during a 40-second, 15-second week. So in this, you might put something like a huddle type of thing, if you want to mix it up, right? I mean, I'm sure you're already doing a breakdown, but you may want to, bring people in and give them a word of inspiration. So that there's nothing more than when you're jogging at the breakdown to just instead turn it into a little bit of a clapping ceremony and put your hands in and go for it. All right. So now that I've made that sound simple, we can go to the dumbbell mini band neutral grip press. So, the purpose of this one is RNT, reactive neuromuscular training, right? When your arms start to go out, you're going to remember that you really want to keep your elbows in because of that resistance of the band. So it also keeps you locked in a good position. And so close grip chest press, focusing on the center of the chest and focusing on the triceps. So what I would say for this is a great week to challenge the weight. That's one thing that we'll do. We'll challenge the weight. Be sure to spot. And remember, when you spot, you want to spot on the forearms versus the elbows. Elbows could lead to a hazardous event where they drop it on their face. The Bosu ball complex. All right, a lot going on with this move. Remember, definitely watch the videos. These videos are just meant for extra engagement tips, entertainment tips. So for this one, you're challenging the pace. But because there's a lot going on, I highly recommend you watch that video and that you do it before you coach it. Kettlebell complex row with iso hold offset single arm deadlift. Talk about functional fitness. Functional fitness is what makes us functional for life, right? Well, you're going to practice lifting a decent sized suitcase on each side, right? Because that's what's really going on with an offset deadlift, is it's kind of like a suitcase deadlift, right? That's another term for it. So focusing on any deadlift movement, we're always focusing on good spine alignment. Okay. If you find somebody with bad spine alignment, you can use a doll or something to teach them to keep contact with their head, their upper back, and their tailbone. So focus on good spine alignment. When they're doing that offset load without your core, you'd go this way, right? But because of your core strength, you can keep your shoulders level, keeping your whole body in a good alignment. And that's just teaching them to engage their core. So you may want to use that as a coaching cue as well. Pull that belly button into your spine, engage your core. Body weight assisted mixed grip pull-ups. So thanks to my A-dog over there, he was just doing a little research on that. One, of course, has more bicep focus. The other grip has more back focus. In addition to that, you're working on grip strength. Grip strength is directly related to longevity. All right. It's also related to shoulder health. So improve your grip strength, live longer, improve your shoulder health, right? So with this one, we used to do this. I don't know if we've been doing it lately because I'm sometimes not a good assistant to Jeremy. So I highlight in green the places where I suggest that you want to start, right? So anytime that we're doing pull-ups, we want to start over there to get somebody's foot in the band, right? And we want to end there too. So there's your challenge. A 40-second week is a very easy week to make it all the way around the room, right? A 20-second week, a little harder, but I could actually give a coaching cue and a little help at each station and still come back in time to pull somebody's foot out of the band. But the better you start, the better you finish, right? So with this one, appropriate band, be ready to spot, right? Don't let them get a band that's too easy. And don't give them a band that's too hard. Otherwise, you'll need to hang out at the pull-up bar the whole time because they can't do the pull-ups, right? So sometimes they'll be like, oh, all I need is a black band. And by the help I need to give you, I don't think you do. I think you need something else. Maybe a green one, maybe a blue one. Yeah, right. Ooh, hang in there. The dumbbells, 21s. All right. So that's just like the bicep 21s. You're starting in the lower half, you're working the upper half, and then you're working the full range of motion. Okay. So, you may want to come along and as a coach, give the count and challenge the ROM, right? Challenge that range of motion. You know, like your 7 down low shouldn't look like your 7 up high, right? There should be a difference in where you are in your range of motion. And then you have your dumbbell complex going into the second round now. 3 Romanian deadlifts. Romanian deadlifts are like getting into that short stop position and coming back out, right? They're also more of a stiff-legged deadlift. So you'll do 3 deadlifts, 3 cleans, and 2 overhead presses, okay? And I think that that's a good ratio there because the weight that you use to clean, the weight that you use to deadlift shouldn't be as easy for you to press. So you're probably gonna maybe only do 1 rep overhead with that weight, right? You know, it might be a 3-to-1 ratio, but that's why you would have less presses on here and why it's not a 3-3-3, even though we love threes, right? So, so again, we're doing a deadlift. So what are we doing? We're monitoring spine alignment, right? When it comes to the clean, you know, teach that clean. So on their 3rd deadlift, you should see their thumbs point back at their bum, and then they're going to zip it up, right? They're going to clean it up. That's an important aspect. And then you as a coach can come along and give a good spot as well on this one. So monitor spine alignment, teach that clean, teach clean, give a spot. And why do we go through all this, right? You know, we go through it all because these are the things that are the difference between observing and coaching. You know, it's just to say, hey, don't just be that coach that's going around the room and saying, good job. You got 3 purposes there, right? 3 purposes at that station. It's like training with a purpose, right? Knowing that everywhere I go, I have a purpose at this station. The Bosu Ball lunge series. So you're stepping off in all these different directions, a forward lunge, a side lunge, a reverse lunge, and then doing it with the other leg. Okay, so for lunges, what's important? Torso upright, right? That's a very important aspect to lunging, right? So you want to teach them that. How could you teach them that? Man, I've done demos with a book on my head before, right? Like, I mean, I'm just showing like, you know, if I tilt forward, right, this is coming off, right? That's not what you want. You know, you don't want them to imagine they got the water on their head, right? Like the old going to the well, right? With the how they do in some of those countries. But anyway, point is, don't let them spill the water. Don't let them lose the book. Teach them something that teaches them to keep their torso upright all the way through that movement. Don't bend at the torso just because you can't get the right range of motion. Challenge your range of motion without sacrificing form, right? So challenge ROM, but focus on torso upright, right? All right, cool. And then offset front loaded carry, single arm farmer carry. So you got 1 up, 1 down. You know, engagement tips, right? We put things in red. I know Andy had a good one. It was all the pretty girls walk like this or something. Is that what it is?
Clean version.
Clean version. We're a faith-based franchise. Yeah, I guess there's an explicit version to that and a clean version. So choose the clean one, and you won't offend anybody. So that's important. So you know, we always like to do that with the farmer's carry. And what else do? You challenge the weight, right? Challenge weight, because farmer's carries are meant to build grip strength. They're meant to build bone density. They're anytime that we have a heavy weighted carry, it's going to develop muscle mass, right? So there's a lot of good benefits as long as you challenge weight.
I know Jeremy always says should be half your body weight.
Mhm.
One hand, which everybody, oh yeah, right. But the point is like go heavy.
Yeah.
I mean, make it a goal.
Yeah.
To get there.
Right? I mean, because what are we doing with a carry that's carrying something less than our purse or something around, right? I mean, 77% of our population is female. If you see a female with a lightweight, say, is that as heavy as your purse, right? Like, I mean, like, let's make sure you're challenging yourself. Is that as heavy as your child, right? Like, I mean, you know, we got to scoop down and pick our child up, right? Let's make sure we're training for life here. TRX row to a bicep curl. All right, so, you know, we're rowing, we're bicep curling. Anytime that we're at the TRX, we want to also have good alignment. Remember, when it's down low, it's a row. When it's up high and you're curling to the eyes, it's working the buys, right? So too often I see the bicep curl as another version of the row, right? People are going down low. So make sure they're in good alignment. The butt's not dropping back. They're not arching their hips forward. And, you know, just making sure good position. Row, low, high, or buys, right? That's a great thing to teach. And then, of course, challenge the foot position. Make sure if you're not shaking, we're not training, right? So make sure that it's a challenging position. And then the dumbbell, quadruped, hip circles, great glute training, right? So with that, you want to keep good alignment, where the knee is essentially, perpendicular to the hip, right? You want to try to get that good range of motion. If your toe is pointed down, you get more glute activation, right? So we're focus on hip and glute activation. And all right, other than that, we just have a 3 exercise finisher, 3 exercise squat with a twist, diamond push-ups, and side shuffles. I don't know if we're still doing the Todd Durkin thing. I'm going to turn this blue for you guys. I'll throw a little quote in there, and I'll share it with Jeremy to make sure that it gets out there, just in case we don't have a quote supplied for the week. He does? Does he have a quote?
So for Friday,
Yeah.
word of the week.
Okay, we'll tell you what the word of the week is instead. Yeah.
Take time to rest so that when you accelerate, you're ready to rock and roll.
Take time to rest. So when you accelerate, you are ready to rock and roll. That is good. What I will say about that is, we are going to become a place of recovery, right? So this is a great quote. And when you recover 10x, you can perform 10x, but if you don't recover 10x, you can't perform 10x, right? They're very, they balance each other, right? So there it is. All right, Friday, Monday, Wednesday, program design review.